Welcome, everybody. We do ask that you refrain from typing for a little bit until we're done. We'll have a question and answer session right at the end of this. Thank you. Yes, Michael, if there are any questions or you want to add any input, please feel free to jump in. We do have a very diverse group of traders here at Milestone, and we all have different charting skills and trading goals. This class will help the beginner with charting basics such as building a chart and then to be able to use the chart in different time frames. No matter what charting time frame that you choose to use, the goal is to train your eye. We are looking for clues within the charts for patterns and telltale signs. Unfortunately, we will all not be using the same charting platforms, and this class will be using stock charts, but you will be able to have all the indicators to alter to your own specific platforms that you use. This will create some confusion with those that do not have stock charts. To help with this, we will also be posting each chart for a download, and they will be saved and converted for you by you to your charting. These will also be in the forum at the end of this session or tomorrow. A lot of you guys have asked about charts and indicators that we use, and we're going to get started here with some basic indicators. And you can alter it to different time frames for yourself. This first one will be a ribbon flow chart that Ray uses a lot. We will build this chart together using the available indicators that stock charts allows us. Each indicator and time frame is a tool to help us with trend, momentum, and direction. More on trend, momentum, and direction will be discussed in another class. For now, let's focus on making the chart that I started with on the 15-minute chart with you guys a few days ago in the video for the day trading. And then from there we'll work off of that. We're going to use those settings to start our new daily chart. This is the 15-minute chart setup if you do not have it. And we will alter the time frames from there and add indicators. So if you'd click on that, open that up, you'll be able to see the basic of what I was using the other day. Now if you can't get all that, here's the download that you could save for your file. Okay, so this is the basic setup that I used the other day for the 15-minute day trade. Okay, so this one's 15 minutes here, and then we will adjust the time frame on it and add indicators. So this next chart that's going to be put up will be a 2-month time frame set as a daily. Okay, so we're not on the 15-minute anymore. It is the same chart, but we're going to give it a daily with a 2-month period time frame. Okay, and this is easily done by using the attributes underneath the stock charts, underneath the chart on stock charts. So same chart, some different settings. Okay, so pivot points were added, relative strength index, and some movement averages are all on here. So now we're going to add some indicators to it, and you want to train your eye to start following some of these indicators and watch the reaction between the candles and the indicators. After our chart is all built, then you'll be able to see how it all comes together. So the indicators that we're going to add are the EMA ribbons, and the EMAs are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. It shows my eyes a flow combined with the existing SMAs. Some charts show the flow easier than others. Your eyes will adjust as you start looking at different symbols, and you'll see how it flows. EMAs are much smoother than SMAs. So now here on this chart, you can see all the 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 EMAs, okay, and how they are running with this to the upside, okay, how smooth it is. Back here you can see the separation. Here you can see the pinching of it. Now he's going to add more RSIs. RSI 44 overlapping the RSI 14 to help determine a trend, to train your eye to see the trend, and the RSI 4, which is just a personal choice. Eventually your charts will be personalized to your own preference. For now, this exercise is really going to get you into start using more indicators to train your eye to see what patterns are developing and where your supports and resistances are. So in this chart here, you can see your RSI 4. Okay. And then up top you can see the overlapping, the 14 and the 44. Just as with the EMA ribbons, we are going for RSI ribbons. When all this is done and put together, your eyes will adjust to see the big picture, and that's the goal. So now we're going to add RSI 2, 5, 8, 11, 22, 44, 52, 104. And the reason so many is the same as the EMAs. You want to see the flow. So if you can't see it on that chart that's linked there, maybe because you're not a member, the download here will show you everything. Okay? If it doesn't open up full size, you can click on it again and scroll through it. Okay? So down here, we've added all the RSIs. And now you can see the reaction with the RSIs and the flow and the pattern. Okay? And they all react to the candles. Now it's starting to look like a chart with some indicators on it that'll give you more of a direction, more of a flow of the chart. Now we're going to add the Arun indicator and some Williams percents. Indicators for the Arun are 8 and the Williams is 9, 26, 295. Now if you're not familiar with all these indicators, don't worry, you will have homework at the end of this session and you will have links, so you will be able to go and study and learn these. Okay, so on the chart here, you're going to see the Arun. Okay, you get the Arun up and you get the Arun down. Underneath that, you're going to have your Williams. Okay, here's your Williams 9, 26, and 295. Now we're going to add another Arun and a CCI indicator and 2 ADX indicators. Remember, this is still only a basic chart that we use. You'll get the big chart one day, but this is a great starting point. So again, if you can't see it on this link here, if you're not a member, use the download, double click on the chart, it'll enlarge it, and then just scroll. So now scroll right down to the bottom and you'll see the ADX, you'll see your CCI, then you'll see your ADX5 and your ADX14. Now every single one of these indicators play a role. So we're going to add the last 5 indicators. We're going to add a CMF, a force, another RSI, another MACD, and finally the slow stochastics. So this is a fully loaded chart here for you. Okay, scroll all the way to the bottom again. and you'll see the RSI, MACD, and the slow stow. Okay. So you should have a fully loaded chart now. So the next stage here is to look at the different time frames and how they react on those different time frames. So this next chart is a 6-month daily, and see how the chart is starting to turn. Oh, you don't? Okay, I'll just I'll open it up in here. Okay, so this is a 6-month daily real quick, and you can see on this chart here how all the indicators are moving with the flow of the stock itself. Okay, and there are the indicators actually show different triggers throughout. Now we're going to turn this into a weekly chart, and you can see how the flow is changing on a weekly time frame. Okay, so pulling it together, you can see how it is on a weekly basis and what it's doing and where it's going. Not just with the candles, but if you look at all your indicators, you can see the reaction as you bring it together. That's the importance of using time frames. So we're going to pull it back in a little bit now, and we're going to look at a 1 hour for 12 days. This is where the experience of training your eyes will help you in trading. Okay, so again, it's by the hour, so you can see looks a lot different than it did on the monthly. I mean on the weekly that you did. Okay, the other one looked like they was screaming to the upside. Now you can see how this is reversing. So this is why you want to have the flow of the indicators and use all your time frames so you can get an understanding of what the stock is doing, when it's doing it, why it's doing it, and how you're going to lock your profits in and how you're going to find your supports. Okay, so do you lock your profits in if you're already up, or you long the stock? So it's very important to pull all that together. So now we're going to bring this one into the 15-minute, okay, for the 5 days with all these indicators on it. So narrowing down where your exit would have been on this move, unless you're very long the stock, okay, you could see by your indicators. All right, look at your relative strength index. You go lower, okay, and you can see how everything's starting to turn to the downside. All right, so the perfect exit was presented to you on a smaller time frame chart. Now, if you're going long term, then you look at the weekly or monthly, and you could see how it's still in a beautiful uptrend. It shows no signs of pulling back yet. But your indicators will be the first ones to let you know where your exit is going to be or your entry is going to be. And that's the key to using all of these. So if you look back here on April April 3rd, you could see a relative strength index. Okay, see when it was at the bottom there. Scroll all the way down. Just keep scrolling down. You can see all your indicators are at the bottom. And see how they turn? Okay, and this is just on a 15-minute chart. Remember, not the daily. So this is pinpointing an entry. So everything was set in place for this to start moving to the upside, and it gave no signals to sell. Okay? So the importance of having all these indicators and learning all these indicators that we've presented here, okay, you want to couple those with different time frames. All right, understand the reaction that they all have by the candle. So you're going to have oversold, you're going to have overbought, you're going to have a middle trade. You know, if the relative strength index is at 50 on a daily chart, is that your time to enter for a long position? No, you're maximizing your profit if you're entering when your Arun starts to turn, or when your relative strength index is at 30. Okay? Now, if your relative strength index is at 70 on a daily and you're in at 30, now you want to get out on a great exit, you turn that chart into a 15-minute chart or a 60-minute chart. Okay, and you're going to look for the relative strength index at 70 at that point. So now you have a strategy when you're planning your entries and exits. Okay, so before you even make a trade, start analyzing these charts and understanding the flow. All right, so don't jump right into something. Unless you're just day trading it for a few minutes, then use your 15-minute chart and your 60-minute chart like I was explaining the other day. But if you're looking for something that you're going to go 2, 3, 4 months away, you want to use different time frames and figure that flow out. Okay. Now all these indicators that we're posting here are on stock charts. All right, they're free, and you'll be able to learn exactly what they are. Don't go crazy trying to learn them. Just understand what they are. Okay. Don't try and understand the settings. You'll never be able to do it. I won't. Maybe Ray can. So the whole cheat sheet is based around what we were talking about. All these links are specifically set up for you to learn the indicators that we discussed today. Okay? You're going to also get a layout of the indicators themselves. They'll be on the forum, so you can adjust your personal charts. Okay, no matter what you use, you should be able to do it to cater your chart to these first set of settings that we're teaching you. Okay. All right, Ray. Thank you. So with these indicators, though, I know there's a lot of them, and it's a lot all at once, but it's really not. It's really not. We have one chart, the music chart, that probably has 40 settings on it, 50 settings on it, and you know, it's built and designed for a reason, and you can use it in any time frames, and it's just a beautiful thing. But the more you use these and the more you train your eye, you know, the better off you're going to be and choosing your entries and choosing your exits. You know, that's the importance of all this. So Ray will be back in a couple minutes. Do you guys have any questions? Don't bombard me, because this is him, but it is going to be a recorded class. Okay, it will be in the training area. You will have all these links on the forum. We'll get all that set up, so you'll be able to access that at any given time. You will have all the images, so if you need to copy the images and work with those will also be on the forum. You can use this chart for everything, yes. Now, if you're going to go 3 months out, okay, you're going to look at a weekly chart and a monthly chart, okay, and you're going to plan by drawing trend lines, and we'll do trend lines another time. I'll get into that with you guys. When you plan your trend lines, then you can estimate where the stock is going to go. And if it's going to move enough from a dollar standpoint for you to make money, then you want to look into that a little more. Then you'll use your daily and your 60-minute to pick your entry for that stock. Okay, so look at your longer term time frame chart first and see if it's actually going in the right direction. Like BWP, if you look at that on the weekly, you can see that's in a beautiful direction to the upside. But when you pull it back into a daily and an hourly, it's time to exit it. But it's not broken, it's still in a beautiful uptrend to the upside. Okay, so there's nothing to get freaked out about. All it is pulling back because it's overbought on the 60-minute, and it's also overbought on the daily. So it's taking a little break. But the trend is still intact for a long-term trade. I think stock charts is probably one of the better, yeah, I think it's the best you can use right now. There are others out there, like I use TC2000 for most of my videos. That's a great system. But stock charts, you can manipulate it more. It has more indicators. It has more. You can make it live. You can do crosshairs on it. There's so much you can do with it. The way I would do it with earnings is the first part of any kind of, if you're planning on getting into a stock, okay, the first thing you want to do is see if your chart's ready, okay. After that, there's a whole nother level that you really want to look at, okay. One of them is earnings, Ken. Okay, so after you get the earnings date, write that down, okay. Look what the insiders are doing. Okay, and you can find that in FinViz, and all you have to do is look at the video in the training center, and I teach you how to use FinViz. Okay, so you want to look what the insiders are doing. You want to take into account what the funds are doing. Earnings, this, that, and the other. There's so many things you want to take into account, but you want to just get an overall picture of the fundamentals, not just the technicals, especially if you're going longer. So Ken, if they say they're going to beat earnings and everything like that, and you're in at such a low area, the weekly chart tells me that you stay in it and go for a ride. As long as if you're doing options, your options are a little further out than those 2 weeks, because it's going to get very volatile. If we're talking about BWP specifically, but the trend is not broken. The daily is a little scary only because it needs a break, but it's heading up towards that gap. So, you take it all into consideration when you're doing it. Yeah, it's a beautiful trend to the upside for the one that we used tonight. So you guys ask questions. Do not be afraid to ask questions. You have us here. There are no stupid questions. There are no dumb questions. The first time I looked at one of Ray's charts, I almost threw up. I had no idea what he was looking at, why he was looking at it. Well, it is a lot to study, but as long as you're learning every day more and more, yeah, they'll be able to read the music chart. That's right. As long as you're learning on a daily basis, okay, you're just making yourself stronger in this volatile market. All right, you're planning your trades better. You're not just jumping in because this person said so or because there's momentum and stuff. Now you're going to look at a chart and say, okay, well, it's already overbought. Why am I going to get into it? Or it's oversold. Why am I going to short it right now? So take the indicators and really take the time, take a couple weeks, a week, and just learn those basic indicators. For me personally, longer term, I will use more indicators. Okay, like what we gave you today. Shorter term, meaning for me 1 to 3 days, I will use the daily, I will use the 60-minute and the 15-minute with the indicators that I gave you the other day. I will not put too much emphasis on the flow chart, only because I'm not looking for a flow. I'm looking for a short-term scalp. I'm looking to be able to get into this and get out of it. I want to know where my entry can be and where my exit could be. So I'll make sure I know what my pivot points are on a daily, my 50-day, 100-day, 20-day. I'll make sure I know those basic things. What's my relative strength index doing? I'll look at the 5 and the 14 on the relative strength index. So I'll keep it very simple, only because I don't want to look at something that involved if I'm going to do a short trade. So yes, longer term, many indicators. Shorter term, less indicators. For an intraday trade though, I think the relative strength index is probably your strongest indicator. Okay, even if you overlap 5 and 14, and I would use my Bollinger Bands. Okay, now your Bollinger Bands typically are set to 20. Okay, and the middle Bollinger Band is your 20 SMA. After the 20 is broken, you switch it to a 30 on the Bollinger Bands. Okay, and then you'll see what's ahead of that. I'll have two charts. I won't overlap them. I have 4 different charts. Okay, I have 2 15-minute charts and 2 60-minute charts if I'm going to do intraday trading. And they both have different indicators on them. The one I gave you was the other one. Right, anytime you change a time frame, all your indicators will adjust to that time frame, and RSI is one of them. So you don't have to make any adjustments to your relative strength index at all. You bet. Are there any other questions? No, it doesn't. I'm not sure how many. Ray, do you know? Oh, only 3? Okay. Yeah, for a member, you can do 100 of them. It is well worth it. I mean, especially if you're going to be here with us, Ray, Michael, Bob, Phil. We have, I don't know, Ray, what do you have, like 1,200 different scan codes that you've built? So we all have codes that we've built and designed so we can go out and search the market for stuff. So if you have that program and we say, okay, you say, oh, listen, I need, I would like to have, a scan that shows momentum for the day. Okay, so we can give you that. You could throw it in stock charts as a member, and it's going to go through all 30,000 stocks, and it's going to create a little package for you of the certain amount of stocks. We have that already built. We have there's probably 3,000 between the 4 of us. Actually, Michael probably has 3,000 alone. I know I'm willing to share some of the information that I have. There are certain ones I will not give out, yes, and I'm sure Ray will be more than happy to even design some for you if there's something that you're looking for. I mean, we can't give the farm away, but yes, we can definitely help you Yeah, exactly, and custom build, you know. But yeah, you can get. I'll be more than happy to give you some of my scans. More than happy to, and I have some great ones. You know, so if you do go that route, make sure you talk to Ray or I or Michael, and so we can get some kind of credit or a free month on that too, because I'm sure a few people are going to sign up. Let me. Who am I missing? You're a little something with 5 and 15 minute entry. Yes, I did that with Netflix. Ken, is that what you're talking about? When I did that Netflix video? Yeah, that was I did a live video, and I can do it. I can do another one just to update it, and I overlaid actually the options with the relative strength index and what the reaction was and how much money you could make just from a relative strength index trade. Okay, like kind of like I did on the other video, but this one was a little more in detail, and I'll do that again. I don't know what the basic package is, because a basic will be fine, right, Ray? But yeah, Ken, I'll do another one. Oh, they do? Oh, extra RT. That way they can do all the scanning and stuff too. I don't even remember what I pay. I mean, it just comes off the credit card, so I'm not sure. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's a great price. And plus, what you're going to get out of it from here is huge. All right, I'm going to stop recording this now, so thank you for listening.